Now I want to talk a little bit deeper about the primary drivers of macular edema and fluid that accumulates under the retina. And we can see this in things like diabetic macular edema, ischemia, eye strokes, post-surgery, inflammatory autoimmune conditions, viral issues or bacterial issues, traction-related edema like mechanical stress, chronic recurrent edema, and edema with optic nerve involvement, plus stress or reactive edema that gets worse under stress. Now, the primary drivers like this are often the activation, the body's producing more VEGF, vasoendothelial growth factor, is often correlated to things like wet macular degeneration and diabetic neuropathy, all right, retinopathy specifically. So in these situations, we see the vasoendothelial growth factor is increasing, producing more fluid, more inflammation, and resulting in more hypoxia, which is reduced oxygen to the retina. We see venous congestion. The blood vessels get sludgy. They don't transport oxygen nutrients to and from the retina. So the tubes start to get clogged. The pipes start to build up with toxins, and the lymphatic system can't drain. So we also can see things like prostaglandin and barrier breakdown, the barrier of the blood-retinal barrier, the blood-brain barrier. And that's very, very common post-surgically from things like just from the trauma of the surgery. Plus, you can have the medications that are used, numbing agents and stuff like that. And then you can have these infectious or chronic autoimmune conditions that stimulate cytokine production, which creates immune signaling, which creates inflammation. You guys all know you got sick, everything swells up, your nose runs, your eyes. The same thing that happens in a chronic level around the retina, creating more fluid. But the fluid doesn't have anywhere to go. When you get sick, your nose runs, you cough up, even your ears can kind of discharge. But when it's in the retina, the fluids can't go anywhere, so they get stuck. And there's mechanical stress after surgery. Chronic recurrent, again, is due to Mueller cell dysfunction. Mueller cells are glial cells, and what happens is they'll start to break down and dysregulate the inflammatory process. And then neurovascular dysregulation, just meaning the blood flow is having problems with vasoconstriction, vasodilation, and then just overall autonomic imbalance, which creates increase in things like cortisol, right, and catecholamines, which are very pro-inflammatory. And finally, just crappy diet. You're not eating foods that are super healthy, too much sugar, too much salt, too much alcohol, too much caffeine, trans fats, things that are very pro-inflammatory to the system can be damaging and exacerbate these symptoms. So if you're somebody you know or care about is dealing with these symptoms, please reach out to us so that we can talk about if or how we might be able to help you resolve some of these issues, whether it's a primary macular edema situation or it's a consequence of some other eye condition that you're dealing with. So we'll see you soon. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Dr. Andy Rosenfarb, your vision is our mission. We'll see you soon.